Hello, my Zentangle friends. This is Barbara Langston, CZT. I'm a Certified Zentangle Teacher, and welcome to another session of Not Perfect Zen. I hope you're doing well. Here's my contact information, and always a reminder to use @BBL_tangles if you happen to post on social media, so I get a notice and I can go see the work that you've done. Another reminder, no mistakes. And I made my own little reminder that says, don't overthink it. I have a stack of bijou tiles, and I just thought, well, this is one that I'm always reminding myself of. And so I just wanted to share that with you. I'm very grateful to be here. I'm so grateful for support through donations and support through comments and the like button. All of that supports my channel, and I'm just so happy that I have so many of you that enjoy my channel. I posted this on social media recently on Facebook and Instagram, and I had a couple of people ask me if I would please teach it. I'm going to teach it in stages, okay, because this one took a lot of time, and, well, the whole tile did, but today I'm going to teach you this pattern and this one, and those are, I've got it on the back of this one. Up and across is the border, and that's by Suzanne McNeill, CZT. And then this one is called Flutter Tile by Sandy Bartholomew, also a CZT. And I found both of these by looking in the Tangle Patterns archives for May, June, and July. I was looking for just older patterns because those are some of my favorites. And so I'm going to show you a tile using these two. I'm going to be using a 3.5 inch Zentangle tile, and I used almost the same colors here, and I just want to show you that a background like this, it looks kind of splotchy and odd. When you put tangles over it like this, it disappears into the background and the beautiful colors just show through. I've been working on some other tiles. This one came out really bright, and so I'm not sure what I'm going to put on that one. But then here's some others. This one looks like maybe a purple giraffe. This one's mostly yellow. My granddaughter, I had all my Lindy's Magicals out yesterday, and she sat down and colored a bunch of tiles also. It's just so much fun. I finally had to stop. Anyway, we're going to do these two on this tile. So a 3.5 inch tile. Yours does not have to be colored, okay? But I wanted you to see the difference it makes to put something on top of a tile that has just splashes of color. I'm going to be using a Micron PN, which is a plastic nib, a Zentangle Graphite pencil, which is just a number 2 pencil, possibly a charcoal, white charcoal. I will be using my blending tool known as a tortillion. And let's get started, okay? We're gonna start with a border, and I'm gonna put my 4 corner dots close to the edge so that we have enough room to play with this. And I'm gonna do my best to make a straight line across. I'm in the Houston, Texas area, and I'm happy to say we finally got some rain. Hoping for more today. Okay. I guess I could zoom in. All right, I'm going to go ahead and go over that with my PN. And just take your time. There's not ever a rush. Keep in mind that the basic reason for doing Zentangle is to just relax and enjoy one line at a time. I did a tile this morning that did not come out perfectly, and that's okay. All right, so I'm going to put another line for this border, and can't tell you exactly how wide that is. It's not as wide as my pencil, okay? And I'm trying to match that line, and it's easier for me if my pen is pointing toward the line that I am trying to match. You could call it an aura. Okay, and come back down this way. And each one of these will be a square, so I'm starting at that edge. This is a very simple pattern, but it makes a beautiful border. Okay, so now I'm just going to make squares across here. They don't have to be a perfect size. Just kind of be mindful as you get toward that one that, yeah, that's going to work out. Okay. All right, go ahead and turn, do the same thing in this direction. On my practice tile, some of these came out pretty skinny, but it's okay. When it's all said and done, it still looks good. Okay, so I'm going to have a couple of skinnier ones over here. See, they're not the same size. Doesn't matter. So I've started coloring tiles for Inktober. I was going to do just white, and then I decided to color my tiles. Not like this, they're going to be solid colors, more like something like that, but the bijou size. And I used Lindy's Magicals, and I forget that those tend to dry dark. Regular watercolors dry a little bit lighter than what you had when you start, but Lindy's Magicals tend to dry a little bit darker. Okay, so let me zoom in on this just a little bit so you can see what I'm doing in these little squares. It is simply a thick line with two thinner lines next to it, okay? And I'm going to skip. I just found it easier to do it this way. Skip a box. Turn off my before it starts raining. Okay. And I'll try not to go too slow on this. I don't speed up my videos, so if I'm going slow, you are welcome to use YouTube controls to speed it up. You can also do the same thing to slow it down if I'm going too fast. And I don't put music. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do these. Now we're going to do the same thing, but in the other direction. So again, this is called up and across. So some go up, some go across. So I'm trying to get a few videos done and ready before I start doing Inktober because it takes a lot of time. Okay, so now I'm going to go down this one. That's the last one I did, so I'm going to go in this direction now. Remember to skip. I do have, and I may have mentioned this already, a video where I explained what I was doing for Inktober last year, so Inktober 2023. And I show a lot of ideas for things that you can do. You don't have to do exactly what I'm doing, but I will show you each day how to do one of the patterns. And like I said, I'm going to put mine on bijou tiles. There will be a number of CZTs teaching this in different ways. Last year I did 3.5-inch tiles with the pattern W2, and that was a lot of fun. Okay. This would be a very mindful monotangle. I've seen it done as a ribbon. Here's the one that I did with the double border. So this is what we're doing today essentially, but I'm only going to put a single border on there. And I will show all of these tiles in the introduction because I like seeing what I'm going to do before I do it. Okay. The perfectionist in me wants to know. Okay. My neighbor has a new motorcycle, and it's kind of loud, but if you hear that, that's what it is. She is a volunteer firefighter. But I also have a friend across the street who has a Harley. It gets kind of loud sometimes. All right, last one. And hopefully these will work out so that it meets up the right way. If not, it doesn't matter. So if you go to tanglepatterns.com, in the left sidebar, there's a link where it shows archives. And I really enjoyed selecting the older archives. Like I said, this was from May of 2010. Okay, this is not going to work out exactly right. It's okay. I got lucky on the other ones. I do want to do a shout out to Marion. Not going to give full names here, but she has supported my channel many times, and I appreciate you so much. Okay, so there's the border. All right, so now we are going to put this pattern, which is Flutter tile. And for that, we're going to use a grid. And we can just use what we see here, kind of. See how that does. I'm going to start with my pencil. And it's not lining up exactly with those, and that's okay. I just started with my grid. Let's see, we ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. And she doesn't show a grid in the step outs, but I found it a lot easier to do this pattern if I put a very light grid on there first, okay? All right, so now switching to my Micron. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put petal shapes in each one of these, okay? So this is our little square. We're gonna put a petal shape, and then we're gonna go in the opposite direction, but don't get ahead of me. So the tips of these petals all come toward the center of these 4 squares. Okay, and I like to go ahead and put all these petals down, so it's gonna just keep alternating. I'm gonna go ahead and put that one. If you don't want to keep turning your tile, okay, so this one will go this way. Then you'll start to notice that these petals line up this way, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and do this one. And this one. This one's going to go in this direction. I just love this background color. It's so pretty. And I'm pretty sure I used Lindy's Magicals on this one. Okay, so I'm going to jump over to this one. As you can see, they all go this way. Okay, then I'm going to turn it and go in that direction. And that's still going to make our petals all line up. But I'm not having to spin my tile every time and make you dizzy. I don't think I followed her step out exactly right, or the way that she does it. But I'm always trying to find easy ways to do something. Okay, so where the petals don't meet in the center, we're going to put these circles. Okay. And on this side, we'll just put half of it. Okay. And they're going to kind of alternate. And over here, we'll have half of one. Just take your time. Remember to breathe. Breathing's important. Remember to relax your shoulders. And also relax your hand. Don't have a heavy grip. Okay, so we're going to have half a circle here and here. And then on this side, here and here. Okay. I think we're going to have part of one here. And these corners also. Okay. So now your tile should look somewhat like that. And the next thing that we're going to do is a lot of auras. Okay. So our aura goes around that petal, next to that line, that orb, and then back across. Whoop. So let's start with this one. And I'm going to put my aura. And I'm not going all the way to that line. Okay, we're leaving space. Remember, we're doing an aura. Okay, and then we're going to fill it in. Okay, so let's do this side. Aura. Come across. Aura. And back up. And I think I'm going to grab my graphic one. I'm going to go ahead and do these auras, and then I'm going to come back and fill them in using the graphic one. Just helps it to go a little bit faster. I'm not in a hurry, but these are a lot of little spaces. And I'm not worried if the shape is exactly right. Each one's going to be just a little bit different, but it'll be close enough. I'm just trying to give about the same amount of aura around each of these petals. And this is why I wanted to teach this one separately. I'll go ahead and show you with my graphic one. And I think part of why it takes a while for me to fill in with my PN is because of the watercolor on the background. I think I've said this before, that my favorite pens are the 01, the PN, and the graphic one, for those reasons. The graphic one helps you to fill in these spaces. I don't remember if Zentangle has ever put a graphic one in a project pack. They just finished Project Pack 24, which talks about aura a lot. Okay, I'm going to see how this does if I aura with this very carefully. Not bad. And if you're doing this with me, you can pause the video if I'm going too fast. Again, we're just going to aura those petals, come down, aura each side, and leave space. Bring that one up just a tiny bit. Okay. I also have a graphic too, but it's kind of like a very big calligraphy pen. I'll show you real quick. So yeah, it has kind of a big flat end, where the graphic one is more like a marker at the end. I use graphic one a lot in my personal tiles. And if I don't push down hard, I'm able to still get a thin line. And then, like you see, it's easier to fill these in. The perfectionist in me wants these to be dark. And I don't want you to have to watch me do this for a long, long time. But when I did it on these other tiles, I really enjoyed it. Taking my time. And the little grid line that we put in there, like I said, was not in her step out, but it helps to keep this spaced out. And I'm just trying to make those be about the same distance. I think the first time I did this, I did not space these correctly. Sometimes I look at a step out and then I start doing it, and I need to keep the step out close by. So I always try to put a link to step outs in the description below my videos. So below the video, you'll see the title and ... more. Okay. So ... more. All right. So if you click on that, you can get to the description on my videos, and I have links to more information like the step outs and other things that you might enjoy. I think I'm just going to go up this side. And then I'll come back down the other side. Okay, isn't that pretty how that's coming together? Right. So I'm going to come up this side. So we have had temperatures close to 100 degrees every day for a couple of weeks. And it's finally cloudy and we're getting a little bit of rain, so that's some nice relief. My plants are really suffering. I have mostly succulents and cactus that even they're having a hard time. Of course, it probably figures into it that I don't necessarily know what I'm doing. I probably overwater. But I do have a few that are doing well. All right, so we're just continuing to do the same pattern, and then we're going to do some shading. And remember, you can use any supplies that you have on hand. You may have a Sharpie that would work for you. Isn't that pretty? I just love how that comes together. All right, almost done. Remember, we're not trying to be in a hurry. The purpose is to relax and enjoy one line at a time. I have done Zentangle almost every morning since I found out about it. And I learned about Zentangle at the end of 2017. So I've been doing it almost daily, beginning in 2018. I didn't do it when I was going through chemotherapy, when I felt really bad. I know for some people it is helpful when they're feeling sick, but for me I didn't want to associate Zentangle with the way that I felt, if that makes sense. Okay, last one, last row. You can see each one of these is a little bit of a different size and shape. But it doesn't matter. See, this one's kind of small. Okay. All right, there we go. Now on this one, I put an aura before I started that, but that's not something you have to do. Now we're going to add shading. So I have my graphite pencil, and I'm going to do it like I did here. And I'm just going to put a little bit of graphite in the tip of each of these little petals. We don't need much because they're not very big. hear thunder. I hope we get some more rain. I know my yard and my trees really need it. Okay, I'm going to turn and do the ones that are in this other direction. Again, this is just a number 2 pencil. So if that's what you have on hand, you can use that. Okay. All right, now with my blending tool, I'm going to soften each of those, but I'm not going to push it all the way to the center. Okay, you want to keep that center part open. So just soften it a little bit, push it into the paper. I know some people don't put graphite on top of watercolor. You could use just a colored pencil to add shading. You could use pastel pencils, which I like using those a lot. But for this one, I'm just going to use graphite. Okay, I'll turn. Do this other side. You can still see the grid in there. It doesn't matter. It's very light. But if you wanted to, if yours is darker, if you wanted to, you could erase that grid. I know that our pencils don't have erasers, but it's okay. The Zentangle police don't exist. They don't show up at my door if I use an eraser. Okay, so now I'm going to use the charcoal, the white charcoal, and I'm just going to put a little highlight in the center of each of these little petals. And where it's got a little bit of a darker color, that really shows up. Okay, now the opposite side. Isn't that cool how it makes it pop? Now, if you're using a white tile, you're not going to have the same effect, and that's okay. No, I don't think I put graphite in that one. And then you can use another, I have another tortillion in here. It says white, and you can go back and soften that a little bit if you want. If you don't have a blending tool, you could use a cotton bud, a Q-tip. You could even just use your finger. In the beginning, that's what Maria used, was just her fingers to blend. Didn't blend that one. All right, what do you think? I think it's really cool. I just love how this comes together. All right, we're gonna add our chop. I don't have room. I could put it on the back. I like doing that inside the Zentangle square. And you can sign it and date it and put the names of the tangles. I'll have those in the front, the beginning of the video. All right, come on, there we go. So here's the original, and this is how it would look if you did more than one row of up and across. And then here's the one we did today. I'm going to go ahead and put my initials down here when I don't have room. That's what I like to do. All right, there we go. And one thing I forget to say is step 8. Appreciate your work again. Okay, so we start out with gratitude and appreciation, and we put our corner dots and our string, which was basically just the square, and then added our tangles and initial and sign. And I want to remind you to appreciate your work. Hold it out at arm's length and say, look at this. Look at the art that I did today. It looks great. Okay? So remember that. Your work is awesome. Thank you for those who share your work with me, whether it's through emails or through social media. I love looking at it. Thank you so much for those of you who have supported my channel. If you liked this video, click the like button, add any comment. That supports my channel too, and it helps other people to find my channel. So thank you again so much. I hope you enjoyed this. And the next thing I'll show you is this, and these are both really easy to do. All right, thank you again. Have a great day. Thanks for joining me, my friends. Bye.